Hey guys, welcome to today's technical analysis video where I will be going over the current market right now. Are we in a bear market? I don't think so, but stay tuned to find out why I don't think we're in a bear market. I think I'm actually very bullish right now. So I'm going to be covering Quant, I'm going to be covering Kadena, and I'm going to be covering Mana. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so just jumping into some on-chain data for Bitcoin before we get started. So I want to let you guys know that a lot of this sell-off has actually been liquidations, stop losses, all that kind of stuff. We had a lot of open interest in the market, so a lot of people going long for Bitcoin, and a lot of those people got liquidated. So what does this mean? This means that a lot of people that were longing Bitcoin and wanted it to go up, who got liquidated, they weren't selling their Bitcoin by choice. So we don't have a lot of people selling their Bitcoin by choice, and we can see that in the overall transaction fees on chain. So you can see here that like when we had the capitulation back in May, we had a lot of transaction fees. There were a lot of people selling their Bitcoin, but we have barely any transaction fees happening for Bitcoin right now. So this is a very bullish sign. And even think about it, like, you know, it makes sense. If you're market selling, like you're trying to get out of the market as soon as possible, you're market selling, the transaction fees are going to be higher. And so we do see that, you know, people aren't making those Bitcoin transactions. But what else is really interesting is the inflows on exchange. You know, generally when it's a bear market and people want to sell their Bitcoin, they send their Bitcoin to an exchange. They take it off a hardware wallet or off, you know, in a DeFi platform or whatever, in a safe space, and they put it onto an exchange and they sell it. And we haven't been seeing the levels of Bitcoin on exchanges that we saw back in May, June. So this was a huge level of Bitcoin on exchanges, and that's why we had this massive decrease in the price, but that's not happening. I mean, we've got a little bit, but we haven't got this significant amount of Bitcoin on exchanges. So another reason why I think the bull market is still going, smart money is not selling their Bitcoin. A lot of people aren't selling their Bitcoin. The total fees aren't increasing that much at all, to be honest. So interesting. But anyway, let's get into the TA. Okay, so let's get into some technical analysis for Bitcoin right now. So just to kind of give us an overall look at the market, because remember, everything follows Bitcoin. So our 50-day moving average is still above our 200-day moving average on the daily chart. So we're still in a bull market, in my opinion. And honestly, people are like freaking out. Like we've corrected 30%, in and around 30%. And we found this like support area in and around $48,000, $47,000 to $48,000, and we've been hovering there for a few days now. And you know, everyone's freaking out, but people forget, like back in May, we corrected like 50%, like over 50%, and we bounced back. So just keep that in mind. Like a 30% correction over the course of Bitcoin's, you know, bull run isn't actually that bad for Bitcoin. Like a 30% correction is what people expect a lot of the time. So just, yeah, keep that in mind. But let's like do some retracements, because, you know, we've shot up, and, you know, retracements are what we use to find some support levels. And we do seem to find a support level in and around the 0.78 Fibonacci level. And we seem to be hovering within this space here, which is good. So we're sticking to this Fibonacci level. Now, if we break down from this level, I'm going to start getting really concerned if we start breaking further down, but it seems like we're hovering, which is really good. We're finding this key support level here. So I think this is potentially a good entry point for Bitcoin right now. Okay guys, so let's get into Quant's chart right now. So I made the mistake of selling Quant way too early, and I've done that with Aave. I've done that with a bunch of other coins. It's just my bad habit of selling projects, taking profit way too early. But Quant just kept on going for ages and ages, and then we finally pulled back. And, you know, at one point we went up like, you know, over 100% on Quant, and that's actually when I sold out of my position way too early. I sold in and around 300 level. Anyway, we finally corrected, and I've been waiting for an opportunity to get in on some Quant. If you've been waiting for an opportunity to get in on some Quant, now is the time to get in on your Quant. Like, look at this price. We're at literally September price levels. August price levels, sorry. We're at August price levels. Hello, people, discounts. And what's really beautiful about Quant is the TA on the 4-hour chart. I'm just on the 4-hour chart here, just to kind of make sure that's all good for you guys. And you know, what's really beautiful is we did see these lower lows on the chart, but we did see these higher lows on the RSI. Just want to make sure I've got that correct. Here we go, yeah. We did see these higher lows on the RSI, and you know, that's what we're looking for when we correct like this. What we're looking for is clear trend reversal. We're looking for bullish divergence. And we got that literally on point, you know, lower lows, higher lows, and then boom, breakout. And we actually broke out, I'm pretty sure, what was it, like 50%? We broke out. Yeah, in and around 50%. So to be honest, I think this is a great opportunity to get in on some cheap quant, especially when we have this confirmation of bullish divergence and we have broken out. I would wait for us to correct a little bit more, because we've just had a 51% gain, but I would wait for it to pull back a little bit. But I think this trend is on. Okay guys, so let's get into the technical analysis for Kadena. So Kadena is definitely one of my more speculative trades because nothing's been built on Kadena yet. But there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of promise, and that's enough to move the market. And just remember that Cardano for a long time had, you know, no one was building on Cardano. It was all hype and it was all promise, and that was enough to move the market. And you saw because it was at one point just behind Ethereum on CoinMarketCap. You know, by CoinMarketCap, something that people weren't building on was just behind Ethereum. So hype is enough to move markets, hence Kadena. Okay, so let's see what happened. We had this ascending triangle pattern here where we were hitting key resistance levels, but we were building pressure from the bottom, and we broke out. We broke out massively, absolutely, like insane. Like, you know, we broke out, you know, over 200%. Kadena just shot up, and you know, I actually made a few videos on Kadena, and I was telling people to wait for a correction, and did keep on going higher. And it can be hard to tell people to wait for a correction when it just keeps moving higher. Like the FOMO gets so real, and even myself, I was like, I took my profits, like it kept going, and I always take my profits too early. But we did correct. We have finally corrected, and this is what I'm saying. This is a potential opportunity to get in on Kadena at $10. We seem to have found key support level in and around this $10 area. And what I do see and what I'm looking for is bullish divergence, which is lower lows, higher lows on the RSI, and that is what I'm seeing. So I think this is potentially a trend reversal happening for Kadena. We seem to be consolidating here at this $10 area, and I see a bullish divergence pattern. This is potentially a very good entry trade for Kadena right now. Okay guys, so let's get into some technical analysis for Mana. Now, I've been waiting for Mana to correct for a while now, so I'm very excited. I'm super bullish on Mana, and you know, I just want to go over what I see in this chart. So in November, we actually had a descending triangle, and descending triangles are really interesting because a lot of the time they do break down. So we actually broke to the upside. They say that they can be either bullish or bearish, but usually they kind of break down like this, but it broke to the upside. But you know, what that tells us is we're hitting this key support level, and this key support level is very strong enough to push everything to the upside. And now we've got a Fibonacci retracement because we want to find some entry points. So remember that we use the Fibonacci retracement when we're in an overall trend upwards, and I do see that Mana is definitely in an overall trend upwards, and the metaverse is expanding and it's becoming more widely known, and I think that Mana is a great investment right now. So what happened is we broke down, and we actually found support a little bit for a little bit of time at 0.38, and then we broke down again, and then the resistance levels was in and around the 0.5, and the support was the 0.618, but then we broke down again, and then our support became the 0.786, or just touching on the 0.786. It's just slightly above it, but we seem to be holding this support. Like it seems to be a pretty solid support right now, and it seems like we are just going to break above the 0.618 Fibonacci level. Now, I actually do think between this area, between the 0.786 and the 0.618 Fibonacci level is actually a good entry point for this trade. I do see this trend reversing. I don't see us breaking down any further, but this is just technical analysis. Who knows what's going to happen with the market? Thanks for watching today's video, guys. Please don't hesitate to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, or let me know what you thought of today's TA. I'll see you next time.